Hi Stampers! Well, I'm excited to kick off this week. This week we are using the Darling Details stamp set and the matching dies. And this set creates the most darling cards to share with your friends and your loved ones. So I think you're going to really like all of the cards that we're going to make this week. The Darling Details stamp set has these really sweet floral designs and really sweet sentiments. So you can do birthday, thank you, and just thinking of you cards. And the dies, well, I guess you would have to think of doilies or frilly, lacy edged things, because this set has 3 different unique doily type frames and borders. And then it has really cute little coordinating floral images that match just perfectly and coordinate really well. So join me all week. I'll be here 5 days, Monday through Friday at noon. We're going to make a simple yet stunning card. We're going to make 2 cards on day 2 and 3, and I'm going to call these my thrifty cards because we're going to do some die cutting, and whatever we don't use on the first day, we're going to use on the next day. So it's a really good, useful trick for you. So I'm excited to share that. And we're going to do a fun fold, and then we're going to end the week with our Friday finale. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and share with your crafty friends so they can join on all the creative fun that we're going to be doing. And let's get going. Let's make a card. Hi Stampers, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Nancy Novak from stampandshout.com, and this week we are going to be creating cards with the Darling Details stamp set, and it comes with coordinating dies. So this is really a great name for this stamp set because it really creates darling little cards, perfect to send to all your family and friends, and great sentiments just for all occasions. Happy birthday, hello there, friend, just a note, and thank you. Just to name a few. There's a couple of others in there too. And it really is a fun stamp set. It's a 2-step stamp set. So you can stamp the lined image, and then you can stamp colored. You can fill it in with the filler stamp. So there's lots of colors you can do and lots of techniques. And we're going to touch on a little bit of all of this week. And let me show you the dies. So when you think of these dies, you got to think doily or lacy, because it comes with 2 frames and a border that create really beautiful lacy edges for your cards. And they're perfect. That they fit right on the front of your card, so there's not a lot of fussing that you have to do. And then it's got all these coordinating floral images that work really well with these frames. So today we're going to make a simple card, and I was inspired again from the Stampin' Up catalog. So we're going to do something very similar. I tweaked it just a little bit, but I just think it's really pretty. And we're going to use a lot of the stamps, so you're going to learn a lot just by making this card. Before we get going, I want to say something. Today is October 30th, so that means there's only 2 days to take advantage of Stampin' Up's 35-year anniversary special. And I just want to let you know that if you're a hobbyist, you can definitely take advantage of this. Or if you just want to join for the discount, that's what I did years ago. I just wanted to get that nice big discount for all my stamping supplies. So I took advantage of a promo that they were having at the time. But this one's really great. So just want to make sure you're aware of it, because it does end tomorrow night. And it's really great. For $64, you get $125 worth of products. Or for $99, you get $168 worth of products. I like this one. It's really a good deal. So if you're interested, go ahead and message me. I can give you a call tomorrow and we can talk about, or today, and we can talk about the details. But just wanted to make sure you're knowing about that because time's running out. Okay, so to make today's card, let me bring in our supplies. We're going to use fresh freesia. I like that one. So the card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And I have a stamping piece of white for the inside. And then for the front, I have a piece of white and another piece of the fresh freesia and a stamping piece. Okay, we're going to start off with our fresh freesia piece and the small frame. So there's 2 frames, the large one and the small one. We're going to go ahead and center this right in the middle. And I'm going to cut this out, and I will be right back. So I cut that out, and I just want to give you a little tip here. So when you cut this out, there's a bunch of little dots that are left over. So this is the inside piece. We're not going to use that today, but save this because I'm going to tell you some tips this week on how to use this piece. So we're going to put that aside for now. But what I wanted to mention for your tip was, yeah, there's a lot of little tiny holes here that you have to break away. And it's really easy. You just have to run your fingernails over them. But sometimes it leaves a lot of these little dots on your cutting board. So you want to make sure you always clean them off before you do any more die cutting. Otherwise, all these little dots are going to kind of wreck your paper, and it like smashes, when you run this through, it smashes those little dots and it gives you a bunch of impressions that you really don't want. So tip is make sure you clean off your plates of all those little extra dots. Okay, so there's our little cut out frame piece, and I'm going to bring in a scrap because we're going to do some stamping. So I'm going to bring in fresh freesia, and we're going to stamp right on this frame with a bunch of the little stamps that are in this stamp set. So first I'm going to use the little leaf, and I'm just going to go ahead and stamp in fresh freesia. Okay, now I'm going to bring in another little stamp, and it's a smaller leaf, and I'm just going to go ahead and stamp all over again. Then I'm going to bring in the little half flower. This is the outlined image. And I think I'm going to bring in this little solid flower. Okay, so we created a pretty little background on our frame, and let me show you the one that Stampin' Up did. So Stampin' Up used this paper here. They did the same thing. They cut the frame out of this paper, which is beautiful paper. This is the Masterfully Made Designer Series paper, and we're going to be using a lot of this paper this week. But I thought it was fun just to show you guys how to stamp with those stamps, and some, just how to create your own background. Really pretty, especially when we put it all together. So now I'm going to bring in our front stamping piece, and this is how it's going to lay. But before, I'm going to emboss that white piece, but before I do, I want to do a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to bring in the stamp that says friend, and I'm going to bring in Gorgeous Grape, just because I want the word to be just a little bit darker. So I'm going to line this frame up where it's going to eventually be glued, and I'm going to stamp the word friend. Okay, before I go any further, we're going to do something similar, but I want to stamp a couple of other images before we do. So I am going to bring in Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to bring in the lined image, the big flower, and I'm going to stamp on the scrap. So I got that pretty flower, and then again I'm going to, in Daffodil Delight, I'm going to stamp the little flower bud. Now for Lemon Lime Twist, I'm going to stamp the leaves. So I'm going to stamp the outline, and then I'm going to stamp the little lines that go in the leaves. Just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to cut these out. So I have our little images cut out, our little leaf and our flowers. And again, I'm going to lay this piece down, and I'm just going to kind of put these where I think they're going to go, because we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to bring in Lemon Lime Twist, and there's a little stem stamp, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp a stem. Make sure this is centered where it's going to be glued later. So I'm going to stamp a stem there, and then I'm going to bring that little leaf in, the little leaf stamp. Okay, now that we have that stamped, I'm going to run this through the embossing folder, and I'm going to use the Time Worn embossing folder. Okay, so we did our stamping and we did our embossing. Now I can go ahead and glue the frame on. And we'll glue that to the front of our card. Then we're going to pop these pieces up on dimensionals. Just like that. Okay, now we'll do a little stamping on the inside. So I'll bring back in Gorgeous Grape. And it says, "You're not here. I hate that." So this is going to be my new favorite stamp sentiment to send with a friend card. I just think that is so cool. And it's good for all, all reasons, just to cheer you up, just to say hi, just say what's happening. But it's just like a cool way to say I miss you. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on the inside of our card. And I think I'm going to put a couple of rhinestones on the front, just to jazz it up a little bit, make it pretty. Okay, so there's your first card. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. So you got a lot of room in here to write to your friends. So no excuses. You can write a lot of words there. So isn't that pretty? Don't you just love it? I love that little stamped background. I think it's just so much fun and personal. So I hope you liked today's card. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share with your friends. And I will be back tomorrow at noon. Don't be shy. Stamp and shout.